gridlock that we had in Washington, D.C. It's a federal responsibility. Now, I'm a big states' rights guy, my friends. I really believe the states ought to be able to carry out all their responsibilities, but illegal immigration is a federal responsibility. So, we failed twice in the Senate of the United States to pass comprehensive legislation. And we failed because Americans didn't believe us when we said we would secure the borders. So, what we need to do is secure our borders and secure them first, and then we need to have truly a temporary worker program, and that temporary worker program means tamper-proof biometric documents coupled with an electronic employment verification system, so that temporary worker is truly temporary. That person can come and do that job that Americans won't do, work for a couple of years, and then go back to the country that they came from. And completely separate from the way that people become citizens of this country. People become citizens of this country by applying for a green card, by going through the naturalization process. That's the greatness of American immigration. But it's got to be done legally, and it has to be done legally. I want to mention one other issue with you, very importantly, my friends. As you may know, I was in Colombia and I was in Mexico City. Now, we've got a terrific problem on our border today, and it has to do with the Mexican government. It's in a life and death struggle with the drug cartels. I'm sure you heard about it. Drug cartels have taken over towns and cities in Mexico. Some of the highest ranking officials have been assassinated. There was a very high-ranking official in Mexico City who was part of the federal police. He lived anonymously. He had everything secret. He came home one evening to his apartment. There was a guy there that shot him in the head 8 times, and the guy had the keys to his apartment. Now, my friends, we've got to work with Calderon. We've got to work with the Mexicans. This president of Mexico wants to take control of his country back from the drug cartels. So this has all got to do with securing our border. It's not just illegal immigrants, my friends, that is a problem with our broken borders. It's the drugs that are coming into this country that are killing Americans. So let's also, you have my sympathy. We will establish a temporary worker program that's truly temporary, so that people can come to this country and do those jobs and then return to the country that they came from.
We lax the child labor law. We did it in World War II. We kids did all those darn crops in California.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, one of the things we have to do at town hall meetings now, with all respect, is we don't yell. Otherwise, we end up all yelling at each other. If you want, I'll send a microphone up to you next, if that's okay, sir.
Good.
Good morning, Senator. I'll be honest with you. I'm scared. And I'm going to tell you why I'm scared. I'm scared because of our national debt. It horrifies me, and I have no way of conceiving how the hell we're going to pay for it.
Well, thank you, sir. And before I go to you, sir, I'd like to respond. Let me just say, I don't think that I'm scared, but I do think that most Americans are not appreciative. The fact that we let spending get completely out of control and we mortgaged our children's futures, and it's disgraceful and it's unacceptable and it has to be fixed, and part of it begins with stopping the out of control excess spending. You know, approval rating of Congress in the latest poll is 9%. Now, how do you get lower than 9%? You're down. When you're 9%, you're down to blood relatives and paid staffers. How do you get lower than that? So my point is, we let spending get completely out of control. We Republicans, to our shame, and we let the pork barrel spending and out of control spending. We created entitlement programs like the Medicare prescription drug bill, which was a good bill. Nobody paid for it. So what we're doing is we're mortgaging our children and our grandchildren's futures, and that's unacceptable. Ronald Reagan used to say, one of my favorite, I steal a lot of lines from Ronald Reagan. One of them he used to say was, Congress spends money like a drunken sailor. Only I never knew a sailor, drunk or sober, with the imagination of Congress. And that's kind of a key line. I'm not making this up when I tell you. I'm not making this up when I tell you. I received an email from a guy that said, as a former drunken sailor, I resent being compared to members of Congress. I'll just say to you, sir, very quickly, the first thing I'll do after I'm sworn in as President of the United States to make sure our nation is secure, and that means addressing the challenges we face to our national security, is sit down with the Democrats and say, look, let's fix Social Security. We cannot mortgage our children's future. We can sit down together. We can sit down together, Republican and Democrat together, and work for once. Work for the country and put the country first and not mortgage that young man's future, which is what we are doing today. I can do it and I know how to do it. Yes, sir.
Yeah. In World War II, 1941 on,
don't think the
we were
microphone's working.
14, 15, 16 years old. We handled those 18-foot ladders. I've been up there with those cherry bales and those apple bales, and so did all the other kids that were too young to join the Navy. And by gosh, we got to modify our child labor laws, let our kids start learning responsibility and grow up to be the adults that built a great nation and great
One of the great things about town hall meetings is that we have the right to disagree with one another. I still think we need a temporary worker program that works, and I thank you, sir, and thank you for the benefit of your experience.